sometimes these guys that call for leads are just, scared and running in business.
Yeah.
They don't have a business up really yet.
Yeah. They just started,
yeah.
or they had a bad season and they're desperate.
But sometimes,
and we get it. And sometimes, just to say that we're not completely bashing the lead sellers, there's times when that can be a good supplement to your business.
Yeah.
But you have to know when to stop, and you should always keep some money to be able to get your real marketing effort going.
Agreed.
Because the goal in going to any kind of lead seller should be to stop going to the
It's
lead
like a
seller.
pawn shop.
Yeah.
It's like a pawn shop.
Yeah.
You don't want to, if somebody needed something temporarily, and and there's an argument that some of that can always be part of it. There's so
Right.
many leads available in these things that it can be part of it. It's just that it's not wise not to go for organic, because not only is it organically better, it costs much less. Hey there guys, it's Nolen Walker and Jason here, Director of Operations for Roofing Webmasters.
Howdy.
This is another
True client stories.
Yeah, true client stories. So a little series that we're doing called True Client Stories. I think you guys will like it. It's frankly a good context to talk about stuff that would be kind of uncomfortable, but real life stuff that happens.
Yeah, it's stuff that we hear, and it's why we say some of the other stuff we say.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're just talking and you may not realize where it comes from.
So, some of it's like, I like these because it's really real life stuff. It's frustrating things that happen. It's good stuff. It's bad stuff. It's everything. It's everything that happens here in business. So, I thought we might even talk about some office drama or politics someday, every once in a while.
Yay!
Why not?
True office stories.
True office stories. Why not? I think people find it interesting because we deal with a lot of the same issues. I think we're very well.
Well, anybody in business is ultimately dealing with a lot of the same stuff.
We do. So this one is called "I Need Leads," because it's a call that we get.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So the true client story is I need leads, and so I get this call quite a bit.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I guess you could have put up a secondary website and just said, "Hey Google, here's another .com. I'm going to drive leads out of this on a local level." Right. So assuming you don't have a website up like a major lead company that shows up in search rankings.
Right.
And Jason, I'd even argue that anybody but these major companies, and I don't want to mention, I don't want to mention third
Y'all
party
all know
names.
who we're talking
Y'all
about.
all know all the places where you can go buy a lead. And we're going to discuss like the logic of buying a lead as opposed and what it means. Because when people call for a lead, they almost sound like a crack fiend or something, like I need leads.
Yeah, that's exactly what they sound like. It sounds like an addiction.
Leads. Yeah, and it's like, okay, so you want leads? Or leads now.
Leads.
Yeah.
Leads.
So and I think people are pre-programmed more than they used to be, really, to look for a lead, because there are these 3 or 4 main companies that have pushed them onto everybody.
Right.
And even like Google and Bing and stuff, you get a lead by paying for clicks maybe. Right. There's other people in the industries that'll look like kind of what we are, like a true digital marketing agency, but really all they do is like do a pay-per-click campaign to get
and then
leads.
sell you the lead. Yeah.
And then sell you a lead or give you a flat fee and sell a lead. So all this chatter and talk about a lead. And when people call, I used to say, well, back in the day, we used to be able to get a website going and then give someone a lead, say, hey, we'll get you a lead, because we had a website up and it'd get optimized and we're good at our work. And we're still good at our work. We're great at our work. It's just that somebody was talking about that the other day. I forgot who the quote was from. The difference between good and great and excellence is details.
Right. Absolutely.
And our unofficial slogan is every little detail of every little thing. And the issue is that Google's gotten more and more specific, and they know exactly where everybody's located. You have a verified GMB, Google My Business account.
Yeah.
You get reviews to it. They associate your .com with it, your name, your address, your phone number, and
shoe size.
Yeah, you really can't. They do. They get a lot of demographics.
They know everything.
You really can't get out of that at this point. So there's no way to just put up a website and give someone leads.
Right.
Now I could do what other people do, which I don't, which is slick double talk, and say, oh yeah, we've got the slickest thing ever. We're going to get you leads, and I should answer this one. It's a spam call. I want to get an SEO call on one of these one day. But anyway, I don't want to talk to them right now. But so people will do this and get these leads, but and they'll double talk you and say, oh yeah, we can get leads, we can do this and do that, and they'll like smooth talk you into $5,000 a month or something,
or whatever it is.
Yeah, and there's one in particular that I'm thinking about that does it with roofers, people looking for roofer marketing and stuff like that, and they will actually slip that in and then essentially become a very, very high paid pay-per-click manager.
Right.
Claiming to be the best, but really just the guy just says that he specializes, but he really doesn't do anything except a basic pay-per-click campaign.
Right. And keep in mind, if you're talking to a person like that, whatever you're paying for the lead is marked up.
Well, this particular guy that I'm talking about charges thousands just for the fee up front, and then whatever they pay.
Yeah, and then whatever they pay.
Yeah, they don't. He doesn't. This guy. So there's different ways you could do this.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry, I went somewhere else.
There's different ways you could do this. So you could pay somebody if you're doing pay-per-click. You could either pay them a fee, and then your credit card goes directly with Google.
Right.
Most people like to just get your money, and then you hope they spend.
And then do whatever
whatever
they want with it.
Whatever they want with it, and then in those cases they usually spend about half of it. If it's called what I call black box on it, and then this guy just charges an exorbitant fee, kind of under the disguise of like, I'm really good at this. I'm doing this just for roofers.
Right.
It's roofers only, and I'm pay-per-click managing, so I'm worth over $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And so, as opposed to just looking online and finding something. So if we do that, if we do that, where someone's paying for clicks, we do a flat fee, and it's very transparent.
Right.
But back to the leads. So when I talk to people, I say, well, the days of putting up a secondary website are kind of over. They're like, oh, I just wanted leads, and I'll say like, so leads off the internet, right? They're like, well, yeah, leads off the internet, and I'm like, okay, because you know that they are going to come from there. And they're like, well, yeah, I need leads. So. And I'm like, okay, but Google loves local business.
Right.
And we can put up a really high-end website for you with custom code and custom content and blogging and on-site changes and citations and integration of righteous reviews and reputation management. And you'll rightfully be able to take one of those spots to get the leads. Instead of
Which is the whole point of the website, by the way.
Yeah, so it's like, and I'm going to talk about a lead compared to like somebody's own organic traffic too. Don't let me forget to go over it. But the guy that's the crack fiend, just wanting a lead, is like stuck in this circular logic of, yeah, give me leads, give me leads, give me leads. I'm like, but the lead comes from organic traffic, and you have a web effort that's not worked on that has the ability to show up there to get the lead that you want, but better.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, instead of going to one of these third-party lead sources, and here's the differentiation that we'll make. On a third-party lead source, they're bought into that third party's brand.
Right. Whoever got you guys the lead, the customer went to them, not to you.
Right. There's no loyalty to your brand.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, they're loyal to the lead brand. And so the lead brand, this is much more likely, if not flat out enticed and sent to multiple people for bids. So you're going to get
these are rare. Those are rarely exclusive.
Rarely exclusive. The client's going to go to multiple parties to get a bid. They don't care about the parties because, again, their brand loyalty is to where they bought the lead from.
Yeah, that customer thinks that this website that shall not be named, that those people, that service got them that price, that cheap price.
Got them the price and provided the service even.
Right.
And then if you mess up, they're much more likely to bash you and do everything else because that's the whole premise of that deal.
Yeah, right? I mean, they're actually encouraged.
They're encouraged
on those platforms to give reviews.
Right.
To
more so.
Yeah, more encouraged to give reviews. So because that lead solo, that's part of how they draw people in, is you can get an evaluation of these people before you hire them.
And Google does that too, but I'd say the premise of the review behind the lead sources is slightly more malicious.
Right. Yeah.
You
No,
know?
it absolutely
Yeah.
is. It's designed to be kind of a survival
A
of the
feeding
fittest
frenzy
kind of
type
yeah.
thing. Like, do a good job, get the
Or
best rate,
else.
or else. Yeah. As opposed. So if you got a lead from your own organic web effort, and someone saw you and found you on their own, and they weren't already on a shopping platform, and they see your logo and content and blog and reviews, they begin to buy into your brand, and then they're much more loyal, and they're very unlikely to shop.
Right.
I at the very least tell you they're not going to shop the same way. I've done this a long time, so that's the kind of lead someone wants.
Right. That's the solid gold lead, and that
Yeah.
and the other thing is you do service for them once, and you've built that relationship with them. Then the next time they need something,
They call
you're the
you.
first person they think.
Yeah, and I would really seriously, a lot of these people, and these guys know what I'm talking about. Nowadays, the loyalty to a brand is diminishing. So it's like if you get, but you do have people that will still be loyalty to a brand.
Yeah.
You don't have to go there. The chance of the lead loyalty is very low. The chance of them coming back, and they're going to go back to the source again, and then next time there's a repair or something, they're going to go through and bid. And I've been talking to these guys recently. They go through and they'll get bid 6-7 times.
Yeah.
I mean, they're buying these leads. So when someone calls and is searching for these leads like this, I have to assume that they've never had their own lead source. And we've said it many times on these, that last time we heard a report, which was less than 12 months ago, it was 76% of people still go to organic to get business. So if you,
And by the way, Google will, if you're in X local area and you have a good local web presence, Google will still favor you over the big national lead
they
site.
will.
They put that big national lead site up if they have nothing else to
A
show.
lot of times there's just
Yeah.
nothing good to show because none of the local guys did anything.
Yeah.
So I would argue that pretty easily that these guys that look for a lead only, because I mean, listen, anytime somebody calls me, sometimes these guys that call for leads are just, scared and running in business.
Yeah.
They don't have a business up really yet.
Yeah. They just started
yeah.
or they had a bad season and they're desperate.
But sometimes,
and we get it. And sometimes, just to say that we're not completely bashing the lead sellers, there's times when that can be a good supplement to your business.
Yeah.
But you have to know when to stop, and you should always keep some money to be able to get your real marketing effort going.
Agreed.
Because the goal in going to any kind of lead seller should be to stop going to the
It's
lead
like a
seller.
pawn shop.
Yeah.
It's like a pawn shop.
Yeah.
You don't want to. If somebody needed something temporarily, and and there's an argument that some of that can always be part of it. There's so
Right.
many leads available in these things that it can be part of it. It's just that it's not wise not to go for organic, because not only is it organically better, it costs much less.
Yeah.
So what Jason's saying is if somebody doesn't, I see people though, a lot of these lead guys have been up in business for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And they've never gotten out of getting a lead.
Yeah, they've always been afraid to. I mean,
They don't
and we've heard them
understand it.
complain about it. We've heard them say, I would rather never give that company money again. But they're so terrified of losing those leads that they won't start the process.
Well, everybody basically complains about leads,
Yeah.
but continues the
Yeah,
process.
but then they continue to do it.
But it doesn't make sense to pay for some. So when you pay money for a lead, you're helping that other company establish their branded web presence and not putting any into your own, which has a great return.
Right.
So I had somebody call. Isn't it ironic that people call us off of high ranking for this stuff, and then ignore the fact that that's where our call came from. The call,
Yeah, that's how they found us.
the call they're on.
And then they're skeptical that it works.
Right.
Well, it worked
Right.
on you.
Right. So people call and I'm like, well, but I need leads. And I said, but this is how leads work.
Yeah, this is how real leads
Yeah, this is
happen.
how that could work for you. And the days of putting up secondary websites to make this work are over.
Right, right.
I had a guy. This was actually a topic that I wrote down last week, but I had a guy call today, that had never been online, who supposedly did 250 roofs per year
Nice.
in Georgia.
Okay.
And so they door knocked, but he was getting older and wanted to get leads on, I guess, online, presumably.
I know what you told me about.
I don't even know how to explain this, and then saying it out loud is
It sounds even more ridiculous.
It's ridiculous to repeat it out loud because I'm talking to this guy who's never had a website that was skeptical of stuff, and I don't really. It doesn't matter who he is or where he's from or any of that stuff. It's just the premise of everything that I need leads. And I need to get those, but I don't like Google, I don't like Facebook, and I don't like that Google PPC either. And I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to get leads come from online. He said, well, I've been a door knocker, and I know people call, and there are no leads unless there's storms. And then he's making all these, I didn't tell you that, he's making all these preconceived notions and making all this
it's like we got a lot of roofers
false narratives
that do very well without storms.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we understand that storms are like bonanza for roofers.
The phone blows up.
Yeah, phone blows up. It's awesome
if you're organically optimized, but you also get some calls coming in when there's no storm.
Right.
So, but this guy was telling me that how stuff worked. So he called me as an authority on it, and then proceeded, when I didn't tell him the answer that he wanted on how, which I don't even know what he wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I don't know. I said, well, hey, Bob, I go down to the bowling alley every Friday night, and man, we drink beer and bowl and get leads like you wouldn't believe. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what he expected. And then he told me he didn't want to participate with Google. I was like, well, this is a way to get leads. And then when I got off the phone, I didn't realize to tell him, well, if you hate Google, why did you? Because there's no other way. He found us off of Google.
Yeah.
And picked up the phone.
I don't know how else he found us.
And he picked up the phone and called. And I'm like, well, this is what we do for a living. We're like dominant for these keywords so that people call us to get optimized. And then we optimize you and get you leads. And then the great thing about it is you pay a really reasonable flat fixed fee per month, which, by the way, is month to month with $99 to start.
Right.
You can cancel it
anytime.
Best
deal in the business.
Yeah, it's the best deal in the business. We have the best results of it. And then we work to get you optimized on organic keyword rankings, map placement, and reviews, and reputation management. That's how we're going to get a lead. Like, no. Like, well, most of them aren't that ridiculous.
Yeah, but he was a good example for today.
He was a good example.
And just, you don't want to participate with Google. I understand that it's easy to fall into a mindset that you don't trust Google because they're a monopoly. They're controlling everything. Nobody should have that much power. And maybe in some ideal world that would be true, but the simple fact is, I think it's up to 87% of search traffic goes through Google.
Yeah.
They have obliterated their competition.
Everything is gone at this point.
And I would welcome a second search engine popping up,
right,
and getting half of that away from them, that we had another option. But that's not where we are right now.
Right.
And if you're not going to participate in Google, you're going to go out of business in most cases.
And I got to tell you something. On the flip side of this guy not liking Google, there's another weird thing that happens in here. When people talk about, buying a lead from a source or even paying for a click on Google, we'll get people phenomenal results, like hundreds and hundreds of clicks per month that would have cost them 300 to 500% more easily to pay for the click.
Right, on Google Ads. Yeah.
Even though we're branded in our very small circle of the world, because we're not Google or because we're not one of these lead sources that's name brand, people will disrespect the services not only of ours, but of anybody who does any digital marketing agency.
Yeah.
And when there's this massive benefit available to them, they'll look at it and go, well, no, I'm not paying that, but I'll pay $5,000 a month to this other stuff, even though it returns at 300 to 500% worse.
Yeah, we've had instances where we were able to show people on analytics what you paid us returned at pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on the dollar.
Same keyword, 5 times as many clicks, 1/5 the money, whatever. And they still, I get it, because
they don't understand the difference.
It's easy. It's easy to understand.
It's like a yellow page ad. You can see, you pay your money, there it is.
There it is, exactly. Yeah. And they like seeing that. and that's what gets them hooked on it. And it's not that PPC is bad; it can be very
no,
good for you.
No, I don't dog any lead source itself, frankly.
Yeah.
And by the way, for you skeptics out there, we're not making this up and like didn't provide a good service. We know we kicked butt for people, and we've done this for years and years, and phone call track and analytics and the amount of clicks and where they came from and map impressions. And we know also beyond a shadow of a doubt that those leads are far superior to even a pay-per-click lead, because even pay-per-click, which I have no problems with, we got plenty of people that do it, and we do this for people, we do pay-per-click for people, but they're in a mode of clicking around an ads just like somebody looked around Yellow Pages.
It's a shopper.
It's a shopper.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a shopper.
And someone going through and looking for the best.
When someone begins to peruse organic and gets stuck on your website for a little bit and then sees reviews and content and blogging and goes to your Facebook account, all that, that's a customer, that's sticking around. That's a totally different lead.
That's a much warmer lead.
Yeah.
When you
and
get
if
that
you
phone call.
have not had them, you should participate in that sort of the organic optimization of page content, which by the way also expands your map placement, the optimization of map placement and reviews around the web.
Right.
That all the stuff that you can get your fingers into on organic is by far the best spot for the lead.
Right.
And again, we cannot.
And even it's a better lead, but it's also a cheaper lead.
It is a cheaper lead.
I mean, you're paying less for more because we can get just as many clicks, way more clicks actually, for a fraction of the money.
Very few of our clients really actually go no to 500% better return.
Yeah.
It's just the ones that do frustrate us.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
But
had a phone call today that someone was questioning. This client is still with us.
Yeah.
But they were well, I'm not sure where my money's going or what's going on here. And this person is actually doing SEO with us, and we're doing this guy's PPC.
Already like a 50% better return, right?
And
within 2 months.
He just launched 2 months ago, and we got his PPC going, and it's working, which is nice.
Right.
But then his SEO effort, which is just, he had almost no web presence before. The month he launched, which is kind of like that first month is kind of
which was only
over.
2 months ago, right?
Yeah. He only had 10 clicks, I think it was. And now it's up it's huge now in like, I don't even remember the exact number, but it's like 1,000% increase or something like that.
Right.
And that's just in 30 days, and that's just going to keep building.
And his question, he's confused. So he's already paying more per click for the PPC.
Yeah. We are already, the organic clicks are already cheaper.
In 60 days.
In 60 days.
But which, by the way, that amount, he'll eventually go up into hundreds and hundreds of clicks, and it'll end up going to a point to where it's like 500% less expensive than the cost of the click.
And this is something we see all the time. We just see, we take over, it starts doing this, and it goes up.
Yeah, and it's fine if he does both of them. It's just that he's looking at a price that his price that he pays us is already half as much as what he pays on pay-per-click.
Right.
But it's already a better return.
Yeah, it's already beating it. But it's hard for him to see it.
It's hard for somebody to see it.
So we're talking to him and we're laying it out, and I am pretty confident we'll be able to make it.
Yeah, the vast majority of clients kind of even like innately just get this when it starts.
Yeah.
The good news about the guy we're talking about is that he's actually called to question what he's spending because he's so busy already.
Right.
I mean, normally people don't equate that to like, I want to cancel part of my services, but especially not the one that gets the best return.
Right.
It's just confusion around this topic, like where do the leads come from and what's the best one to get. You can call track and do all kinds of stuff though. There's analytics on every single page, and you can tell exactly where everything comes from. So anyway, interesting conversation on it.
Yep.
You should definitely get leads. You should get the best leads possible. And if you're fiending for these cheap leads, it's just not a good plan to do that.
You need to have a long-term plan, a long-term vision, and if all you're thinking about is my next hit, my next fix, you're never getting out of that hole.
So I don't know if I told you about this guy, and I won't tell you exactly what happened to him, but this gentleman was presumably been doing this for a long time, the one that called today, wanting leads only that didn't trust Google.
Yeah.
And so if you want to talk about this case in point, he'd gotten older, and had a physical issue, a health issue, and couldn't go door knock anymore. So he just pound the streets, I presume, for years, like decades, and now can't go do that. And now he's scrambling, looking for leads. Now, how could he have gotten leads? Had he worked on it, had he been working on this stuff,
Yeah, if he had started up even 5 years ago, 2 years ago.
If he'd done anything,
he'd have something good going on.
So he told me,
if he'd done it 5 years ago, he wouldn't. He would have been in a good place 3 years ago.
Yeah, he'd be in one of the most dominant ones in the marketplace. I tell you, he told me too, and I didn't really. Usually, I'll stop and kind of say, no, that's not true what you're saying there. But if somebody just goes off on a gobbledygook ramble, about nonsense, I usually stop them and say that's just not true. But he was saying, I've talked to people I know, and they spend thousands and thousands and thousands. He's like, they spend $5,000, $10,000 a month, and they don't like their leads from this source or that source or Google or Facebook. It's like, if I all of a sudden called all my competitors and said, hey, what are you doing? You see us online, optimized all over the place, but
you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that, right? Jesus.
It's like when my parents come over for dinner, and I ask my dad if the dessert is good, and he's gobbling it down and says, no, you don't want any of this.
You don't want any of it.
And yes, I'm 49 years old, and my 73-year-old father still uses that joke.
But yeah, so but he was
72. Sorry, Dad.
He was literally telling me the story about I talked to this guy and he said this and that, and I'm like, dude. I want to say, dude, no, man. People spend money online because they make money online.
Right.
And by the way, this is like basic logic, but it doesn't make sense until someone kind of breaks it down for you. I think it's a lot easier to listen to in this format too than it is like me directly on the phone to you.
Yeah. Well, you directly on the phone, you're like,
no, I don't say
are
that.
You an idiot? Now, he doesn't say that, but...
No, yeah. I don't. I don't even sound like that, Jason. That's offensive. Anyway, but yeah,
I admit I have sounded like that. We had a client one day. He was frustrated with Google. He was actually happy with the work we were doing.
Yeah.
But he had an issue with his Google My Business account that we were having trouble clearing up because of Google regulations outside our control.
Right.
We eventually got it cleared up.
Was he jacking with his GMB account?
Yeah. He did something he should not have.
False addresses.
He calls me and he goes, so what's it going to take for me to get off Google? And I said,
I'll show
so you're going out of business?
Yeah, right.
And I said it just like that, like, you idiot.
What did he say?
I had enough that day. He goes, well, no, I just don't want to be on Google. And I said, you don't understand. That means you're going out of business.
Right.
His was a business that absolutely is dependent on Google.
Right.
Everybody is, but this one is just one of those ones that you ain't going to survive by word of mouth or flyers or something like that. And I talked him off the ledge on that, thankfully. But he was ready to delete his Google My Business account and wanted to be. He still wanted a website, but he wanted us to put the website on nofollow so Google wouldn't spider it. And it's like, so what are you trying to accomplish here? Yeah, it didn't make any sense at all.
But yeah, so people. To me, it's like a lot of people look at people on the web and they'll make these statements like, oh well, that's those guys. They've got deep pockets. They must spend 6 figures on that. 5,000, 10,000. I can't do that. It's like,
and when you call them and ask this, are they out on a job site doing a job, or are they sitting at home doing nothing?
Yeah, and so all these people that are in top rankings don't spend $10,000 a month. A lot of them probably don't spend more than about $1,000 a month to get up there. They simply someone who decided to fight for it, who decided to start going for it, and begin.
They
to
figured
start
out years ago this is where things are going.
And they got up there. Right. The other type of person, so that's the type of person who's like, I couldn't possibly do that. And the other type of person doesn't actually think this through, but say, well, I want to get it done for nothing. This is free, peace, and love, man. It's organic.
Yeah.
You're cheating me and not doing anything. I said, no, we're not like not doing anything. We're working our tail off. Like, do you think that the people that are up there just fell ass backwards into excellent ranking? you know.
I was at a sales and marketing conference almost 20 years ago with a colleague from an agency, and this speaker was up on stage, and he started talking about there is no excuse not to get online, and this is back when being online was a new thing, and he's like, because this is free advertising.
Right.
And my colleague jumps up, and she was just like, "Are you out of your damn mind?" Said that in front of like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
It's like, someone has to be paid. They actually escorted her out of the building.
Oh, wow.
While I pretended to not know.
Wow. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. This sounds very chauvinistic to me. It's like 20 years ago. It's like Mad Men stuff going on.
Well, I mean, she jumped up and started shouting at this guy, so kind of brought it on herself.
Well, I mean, in her defense,
I mean, she was right.
back then it was a lot more free than it is today.
Yeah. But even then, I mean, if you were going to get online, well, not really, because that's when we used to get $1 million for a
That's
website.
true. The web designs themselves were exorbitant.
Yeah, that was my favorite period.
I
of
was
history.
spending $250,000 a year in a small web crew back in 2005.
Yeah. This is even before that. This is late 90s when the dot-com bubble was in fully inflated, and we literally were getting seven.
But I do
figures
think
to do
that's
a
where
web
some of
design.
it comes from. It's like people don't pay. People in major markets that have roofing companies looking for roofing SEO, roofer, internet marketing, do not pay nothing to be up there.
Right.
Those are not stagnant, do nothing, cheap websites. Somebody helps those people and they get up there in ranking. And those companies also fight for it and learn a little bit. But do they spend $300 a month? No. Do they spend $10,000 a month? No, they don't. Do they spend $2,000? They probably don't. In almost all cases.
Yeah, depending on the market.
Depends on the market, how big it is, and how much work is done.
But 2,000 is a lot more reasonable than 300, because 300 you ain't gonna get nothing.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have stuff that we do for less than 1,000, over 1,000, depends on what we're working on.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, you guys should be fighting for your online rankings to get leads. And then, yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting more leads from other people. By the way, they're calling around asking for leads from us because they don't like the other leads.
Right. And then they tell us
they want these leads. They're like, I hate these leads from these people that show up in ranking where I paid third parties that don't brand to me, and the leads are given to multiple people, and they don't give a crap, and they just and I hate them. So can you give me some leads like that? Well, no, but
we can give you better ones.
I got better leads. No, I'm not. Oh, crap. I'm not looking for that. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens. Except not for the guys listening here, because they smart, man.
There you go. Or if you weren't before, you are now.
You are now. You've been educated.
Smartened up.
Yeah, educated on it. Anyway, all right, guys. If you got questions, I'm happy to answer them. I promise I'm nice. I am nice on the phone, Jason. I'm really nice. I'm nice. They don't have to talk to me. You want to talk to Jason?
You can talk to me.
Yeah. People like you, man. They do. They like the beard and bald head and stuff.
I think it makes me look wise.
What do you think I would look like with a bald head and a beard, Jason?
Not as good as me.
Damn it, it's true. All right, guys. We'll see you. Y'all call us.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.